Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Happy Monday. Alright, so this watch list video is brought to you by FTX. If you don't have an FTX account, then feel free to use the link in the description below. You'll receive 10% off trading fees as well, so that's a nice little bonus. Alright, so we have a medium-sized watch list for us this afternoon. If you're just tuning in now, so we saw some selling over the weekend, which was expected. The charts were telling us that we were going to see a sell-off. Whether it was news related, I'm not sure. But yeah, Bitcoin saw a decent sell-off. Let's have a look. So yeah, it was down about 6% at one point. Which is not too bad. There was no trades on Bitcoin, unfortunately. I wasn't keen on trading into this $40,000 level, but some people did. Well done if you did. But yeah, it's just not something I would do. So we are sitting around this level at the moment. So if we have a look at the 4, there's no real trend. We've just seen a sudden sell-off and then sort of bounce on this $40,000 support level. Well, it's not really, yeah, it's around the $40,000. And then we've broken through and then we're pulling back up. So a bearish candle off that level would be something I'd look at, consider, but the trend leading up to that is just a bit rubbish. So yeah, there isn't too much on Bitcoin at the moment. If we go lower, the close, so yesterday's close, we just saw a big, the buyers come back in, which I explained in the video this morning. I did expect some buyers to come in, grab some cheap tokens and push the price up a little bit, but yeah, we'll see where we go from here. Across the board, most of the lower time frames are a little bit ruined. We're in a solid downtrend on the daily and the weekly, especially on Bitcoin. So my focus will be on shorting. So these lower time frames are still, we're going through a pullback on the higher time frame, so the lowers sort of are in an uptrend. And I don't particularly like trading that way. So let's have a look at algo. Hey Daniel, Bobby, how are we? 4 hour charts looking freaking good. Yeah, that's right. That's what I'll go into. So I was focusing on the 2 hours this morning. These pullbacks were in the cradle zone were sort of shot past on the 2 hour. So the 4 and the 8 are where it's at for me. Algo, I'm liking the look of algo. We've got a lower low, lower high. We've pushed through and we're pulling back on this level. Let's have a look at the 4. The 2's sort of overshot, but the 4's not too bad. We've got a level through here, so we're pulling back to a level. Bearish candle off that would be good, and the 8 hour trend's there as well. So algo's looking good. We've just got an hour to wait. So sorry, not an hour. It'll be 5 hours. So we need this one to close and then a bearish 4 hour candle. So we've still got a little while to wait. Anything can happen, but yeah, that's one that I'm keeping an eye on. Audio was looking good. Let's have a look at the 2. So the 2, depending on how this closes, if this is, if this sells off a little bit more and we have a decent bearish candle in that cradle zone, yeah, it might be one to consider. It's just the lead up. We've got this high here, so it's kind of ruined. The 4 hour is still there, and the 8 as well is looking good. The 8 hour trend's looking really good. Let's have a look at the 16. Failing the 4, yeah, the 16 is good as well. So failing that 4, if the 4 doesn't give us what we want, maybe the candle's too big or just doesn't, just doesn't give us what we want, then the 8's always an option. And looks like there's a little bit of a level through here as well. Again, rejection, rejection, rejection. We've pushed through but rejected it quite quickly. Rejection, toyed around a little bit, so a pull back into there might be something to consider. So that's why audio's in the list. So yeah, I did a full FTX scan about an hour ago. So most trends are not that great, especially on the 4, unfortunately, but this list has probably the best trends out of the bunch. So let's have a look at BNB. I did mention BNB this morning. It was looking good on the 2. Still there on the 2. It's sort of shot past that cradle zone, which is not great, but we do have a level through here. The trend's there on the 4. We're pulling back into that level. The 8's there as well, which is really good. So yeah, that's why it's in the list. We've still got a few hours to wait though. All right. 1 second. Cello perp is 2 hours not looking too bad. Again, we've shot past, but the 4 hour is there. The trend's there. It's a little bit messy. The 8, the 8's there though. So the 4 hour, we are going through that pullback. A nice bearish candle in that cradle zone would be good. CRV. Level through here, push through, pulling back. Might be the 2 hour. Yeah, so the 2 hours right in the cradle zone, right on that level as well. We just need that to close a little bit more bearish, and it would be a good one. I might put that at the top of the list because that will close before any of the others. ETH. Actually, let's have a look at the MACD. Yeah, the MACD looks good. ETH. Another one, the 4 hour. The 2 hours ruined, but the 4 hours there, pulling back. The 8 hour is good. And yeah, still a few hours to wait, but it is pulling back. It's in that cradle zone. Let's have a look at the daily on ETH just to get some perspective. Yeah, lower low, lower high, so we are in that downtrend. It doesn't look like there's any solid levels that would stop us hitting our targets, which is good. So we can keep that in the list. FTT. 4 hour. Trends there. 8 hour, the trends there as well. I like to look for levels to back up these trades. It doesn't look like there is one on FTT, so it would be worth going through and looking for levels on this whole list and sort of prioritizing the ones that do have those bonus factors with the checklist. So FTT is not one of them just yet, but it is looking really nice. Mana was one that was pointed out this morning. The 2 hour was looking really good, but we're sort of, the buyers have pushed that back up past, out of the cradle zone. So it's the 4 and the 8 that we're watching now. It's right in that area, right in that sweet spot on the 4, and the 8's there as well. So yeah, Mana's looking good. Neo, another one that was, I think that was the 2. Yeah, so lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, pull back. We're in the cradle zone. We're looking good on the 2, and the 4's there as well. So Neo, the moving averages are good. So Neo's another one on the 2. We can throw that up because that will close before these others. 1 perp. Looking good on the 4, the 2 hour. Lower low, lower high, lower low, pull back. We're there. That bearish candle is starting to form, and we're backed by the 4 as well. So another one we can throw up the top because that will close first. Sushi perp was another good looking chart. This 2 hour was looking really good. We'll see how this 2 hour closes. If not, the 4 is looking good, and the 8 is there as well. Uni perp. Let's have a look at the 2. This was, yeah, looking good, but it has shot past that cradle zone, unfortunately. So the 4 hour, it is. The 8. The trend's not the best on the 8. We'll keep it in the list for the 2 and the 4. I think there's better ones out there, so we can keep that in the list down the bottom. So yeah, that's the list that I'm watching for this afternoon. If you're in the Slack group, I'll keep you updated on anything else. I think Lou is doing a scan as well, so he will keep you guys updated in the Slack group. But yeah, interesting times. Big sell-off over the weekend. As expected, we're waiting for that pullback to come in, so the buyers are back. We're pushing that price a little bit higher, and we just need those bearish candles in that cradle zone, and we'll jump on them. G'day Winston and Bobby. Do I ever trade off the 3 hour? I don't. A few people in the community do. I think Matt does as well. So it would have to be a really good setup for me on the 3 hour. It's just not something I generally trade. There's no rules against trading the 3 and the 6 and whatnot. It's just, personal preference. All right, so there's no further questions. Yeah, so that's the list that I'm watching today. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.